Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Researcher Celebrity. Today we have Dr. Jatin Shrinet with us. A brief about Dr. Jatin. He has done his bachelor's in zoology from Deshbandhu College, Delhi University, master's in bioinformatics from Jamia Millia Islamia University in Delhi, and then for PhD he joined ICGEB International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology in New Delhi, post which he moved to United States of America for his postdoctoral research at Florida State University, Tallahassee. With this brief introduction, I would like to welcome Dr. Jatin at the platform. Dr. Jatin.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Raja, for this kind introduction.
So let's the conversation goes. We always start our conversation with all of our researcher celebrities with a trademark question that how and when you decided that you wanted to be a researcher.
Oh yeah, this is an interesting one. So let me tell you this. Okay, let's do this. I will try to keep it as simple as possible. I will not just tell everything in English, but for our Hindi audience, I will try to mix it up a little bit.
A brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
So actually, I have never decided to come into the research till my master's. I had no idea that what PhD is, what a postdoc is. But during my last year of masters, I got to interact with a lot of seniors who were doing PhD. And for me, PhD is just like another degree. I never thought that PhD is that interesting as well as tough, I will say. And yeah, so I never decided. You can say people decided for me, or this whole area of life sciences decided that I have to come to PhD. See, from my childhood, I always wanted to be a doctor. So I never was able to crack those medical entrance exams. So this was the another way to get those DR in front of my name. It's like getting a suffix, or not the suffix, but prefix of doctor in front of my name.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So we can say it like normally people say in Hindi that जब आप किसी चीज को शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात मिलाने में लग जाती है, but with you seems it's just opposite, that you never thought to be a researcher but research chose you to be one and you are the one for us.
You can say that. Yeah. I never thought of doing a PhD. Even when I joined ICGB, I joined it as a project assistant. Before that, I was a health inspector at International Airport, Indira Gandhi International Airport, but I was not liking that job. Maybe because somewhere I was connected to science, but again, so I left that job. I joined ICGB, Dr. Sujata Sunil's lab, and she gave me that opportunity when I had no live project experience. So I started learning from there. I joined it as project assistant first, and then after a year or two, I think I was promoted to JRF, and then that journey begins. So my journey, you can say, started from the real research journey. Started from late 2010, early 2011, and around 2014, I got registered for PhD. So till that time, I was not sure if I have to do PhD or not. But yeah, I was in love with the research part. So yeah.
This is very interesting because, as you mentioned, it was almost 3 to 4 years' time when you had enough of time to decide that either you want to do a PhD or not. Yes. Because obviously, if you want to do a PhD, that's the only way you will go for registrations and all the hassles it comes with. And this is just the starting. So let's talk about the journey. When you took your sweet time to decide that you want to do a PhD, got the opportunity, how was the journey of PhD?
So this is also interesting for me. It is maybe a little different from the people you have already interviewed or you have met. So it was kind of the thing when this time passed. It's around 2013, late 2013 or early 2014. I started feeling now I know nothing except for this science. So I should go into this field. And if I have to be in this field, people are doing PhD, they are getting degree. So I should also try for that degree. I was not able to qualify CSIR very clearly. So I don't have net JRF, which people have. but it doesn't mean that the people without JRF cannot do PhD. There is a way. So people say, if there is a will, there is a way. That was the thing. So I discussed this thing with my supervisor, Dr. Sujata Sunil. She agreed. We both together found a way. She got me registered for PhD, and in 2014 I started my PhD. Like after then, yeah, I thought if I have to be in this field, I should get the degree. So yeah, I started doing that.
Okay, so the registration is done. Now from registration till award, if you can share that journey, because everyone says that it was a bumpy ride, roller coaster. How was it for you?
I would say not a roller coaster, but yeah, bumpy ride you can always say. So it was something like I was learning. I was getting the projects, I was learning. And at that time, one of my friends said, so because I am a computational biologist, so I had to learn biology basics also, the nuisance of all the computer things, the programming and the analysis part. So at that time, one of my friends says, see, if anyone gives you any project, or if they ask, भाई मेरे पास ये काम है, क्या कर पाओगे? Even if you don't know, say yes. And say थोड़ा time लगेगा, मैं थोड़ा busy हूँ, मैं आपको बताता हूँ. And in between that time, learn about that thing. And this is how you will learn bioinformatics. So me and my friends, we all started doing that. कोई भी आता था, we say, या ये काम we can do it, आराम से हो जाएगा. But अभी थोड़ा सा टाइम है, next week पता करते हैं. And then we used to meet, all our friends used to meet in the evening. बगल में JNU है, so we used to go to JNU and we used to talk to each other and we used to tell, see ऐसा एक काम आया यार, कुछ idea है इसके बारे में. And then that's how we started learning from each other and from others project. And I don't know if I should say or not, but बाकी लोगों को they never got to know that हमें आता ही नहीं था वो काम. When they came with the work to us, we never knew कि वो काम करना कैसे है, वो होता क्या है, we never knew. But yeah, we learned from them, with them, and with my friends. So yeah, that was
No,
the
but
thing.
but this
So
is, I think, the perfect example of learn and perform. So after committing to something, you are like, okay, now let's learn and then do it, because apparently you have delivered all whatever the people were asking for the help. You have given it to them. So it is
yeah,
an accomplishment.
सर बिकॉज आप जानते हैं इन आर लैंग्वेज भी से इज्जत की बात हो गई है भाई, अब तो बोल दिया है, कमिट कर दिया है तो करना ही पड़ेगा. सो दैट
Yes.
वाज द थिंग, इट वाज लाइक काइंड ऑफ द नेम, द प्रेस्टीज. एंड ऑल्सो सी, एक चीज और थी, वन थिंग आई वांट टू टेल यू इज, most of the people when I met in the starting, they were very reluctant to hire a bioinformatician. I don't know why, but for them bioinformatician, they do nothing, they just press enter and they produce results. And most of them when I met before I started my PhD, so I had to make my place, like yeah, you need me and I need you people also. It's not like you only need me, because in science अकेले तो कोई कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता, so you have to
Absolutely.
be in the team. So they needed me, I needed them. I always used to, so what I did, one thing what I did is, whenever somebody came with a project, I was like, you tell me what you did, why you did, what you want, and what is the data, then only I will tell you. So that way I learned biology. That is the shortcut. I can't read each and every paper in the field, and its field is very vast. So that's how I learned it. Like lot of people, you were in my lab, so you know that when we discussed, so I used to go to you, Dr. Anil Sharma, and I used to ask question about the mosquitoes, the breedings, how do you identify this is male or this is female, kind of questions. So this is the small thing. It looks like a small thing, but yeah, this will help you grow in the field. And this is the shortcut.
Absolutely.
You learn from others' experience. So this is how I learned. This is how I learned the bioinformatics. And yeah, so
So when we say that, as you mentioned about the collaborations, talking to your friends, sharing the experiences, what they want, and then doing this. So if we say that collaboration is the key, how in your PhD, if we talk about the role of the collaboration, how can you explain that it is important for a PhD student to start collaborating, to start networking, because this is something which is very important for their success in future. And for PhD, it is sometimes it is very important to have more collaborations, because either it is resources or the expertise or the facilities, it can be an instrument or a facility which are not there. So how it went with you?
Yeah, so you only answered the question. Collaboration is very, very important. If you are not collaborating in your field, you will be able to complete your PhD or do your research, but that the quality of research might not reach the level you want it to be. And again, I will say, अकेला तो कोई कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता इस फील्ड में. If I know something, you know something, we should collaborate. I can only do the analysis part, but I know if I want to validate my results, I need your help. And your help means help inside the lab, in your lab, with your colleagues, and outside the lab, outside the institute where you are working. If you know you are reading the paper and you know you are planning some kind of experiment, the expertise of which you will find in, let's say, in X institute, you go to your supervisor, you should ask them that I want to perform this experiment. This is the thing why I want to perform. This is the takeaway messages. This is what I am expecting if everything works fine. And I need to collaborate. I think most of, maybe 100% of the time, they will say, the PIs will say, yes, you can go ahead. They will take an effort, they will make an effort to talk to the PI of X Institute, and you will collaboration is very important, very important. So again, the small example is, if I have something, I found some lead while doing the analysis, computational analysis, and if I am not collaborating, my paper or my research will stop then and there. And it will always be a hypothesis because it is a computational finding. But if I collaborate or if I ask for help from some wet lab person or from the person who knows how to perform the analysis or the validation for the analysis, the value and quality of the research will go high. So yeah, and I have seen a lot of papers where people have not collaborated, and it's a good finding. But you can say that. So I can give my example. One of the paper, it was an in silico paper. I performed some analysis, I got some result, and after I published it. After some time, a paper came, a review came actually. They cited our paper, our results, but they wrote it that it's only a in silico analysis and no wet lab validation was performed. And it was a shocker for me. It was like, oh shit, oh, pardon my language, but from now onwards, if I keep on doing this, if I keep on repeating this without validation, publishing the research or paper, every time, nobody will believe me. It will be like only the in silico thing. It will be like the hypothesis. So I might not be correct every time, 100% of the time, but for that, I need a collaboration. I need a validation, and I should not be afraid giving authorship. So most of the people I talk to, they are like, okay, अगर हम collaborate करेंगे तो उनका भी तो नाम देना पड़ेगा, फिर उनके PIs का भी नाम देना पड़ेगा. So will it dilute my effort? So let me tell you, that collaboration will only increase the level of the research, the level of the finding. It will not dilute your research, because there is a thing, contribution section in each and every paper, where it is clearly mentioned who has performed what analysis and what type of work in this paper. So nothing is getting diluted. You should not be afraid of giving names, even if it's 20, 30 people, doesn't matter. If it is improving your findings, if it is improving the level of research, you should go ahead, collaborate, and it is very important inside. And the sooner you learn this, the better will be it for you.
Absolutely. So this brings us to two vital questions in research. First, to improve the quality of research. Not many people talk about it because everyone is so engrossed in their research, what they're doing, that how it can be improved by collaborating. The second is the authorship issues. Okay. So you clearly mentioned about how and why people should collaborate to increase the quality of their research. Okay. Then you mentioned about the authorships, that if you collaborate, obviously you are increasing the impact of your work by the collaboration, giving the authorship, which is normal. But what were the thoughts, or in this a decade, since 2014 to 2023, over the period of a decade, as a researcher, how you have evolved on these two important topics?
Okay, so let's talk about the collaboration part first. So when I was in ICGB, when I was doing PhD, I was helping a lot of people. So people will come and they will upfront tell you that, see, I need your help and I want you to work on my data and work with me, but I won't be able to give you authorship. That is also okay. If you are learning something new, but keep in mind that this analysis, what you are going to perform for them, will be helpful for you in future.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say a small example. I was analyzing proteomics data for somebody
Mm-hmm.
who told me that they will not be able to give me any authorship
Mm-hmm.
because of some XYZ reason. But if it will be very helpful if I can do the analysis. I said, no problem. I will take some time, but I will do it. I
Mm-hmm.
started reading about it. I started analyzing the data. In the process, I learned how many type of proteomic analysis we can perform in a data. So now the proteomics field is really grown from that time. But yeah, I learned it. The analysis was done, paper was published, is okay. I did not got any authorship. I never asked for the authorship or the acknowledgement. That person knew that I have helped them.
Mm-hmm.
He went for postdoc. So he was one of my friend. He went for the postdoc, and then he told somebody in that institute who needed the help analyzing the proteomics data that I know a guy who can help you, and it's between you and him if you are able to give the authorship, or you will pay him for his time or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
So because of his reference, I got a second paper where I have
Mm-hmm.
analyzed proteomics data for them. And
Mm-hmm.
one of my then again one another of my friend, they knew that I do this kind of analysis. So I got an opportunity to work with a student in Karolinska Institute, Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
He is Dr. Ashish. I worked with him. I analyzed his proteomic data and I got the authorship. So see, first collaborating or helping people have given me fruit sooner or later. For my case, it was later. I got the authorship with a student in Karolinska Institute for proteomics paper. Now I have a proof that yeah, I know proteomics analysis, and I did it for my PhD as well. So after
Mm-hmm.
analyzing that data, I thought, why not to do proteomics for myself, for
Mm-hmm.
my topic, and I did that also. So yeah, so collaboration is important. And then I answered your second question, the authorship. If they are willing to give you authorship, very good. Take. Everybody needs paper in this field. Everybody wants citations, want to grow in the field. But even if they are not, you should see your availability, see your time. If you are available, if you can do it, say yes. Never say no. Help them. This will help you. This will help you. This will help you in creating new contacts, and this will help you in learning something new. So yeah, this is the both things go hand by hand. So
Absolutely. I think now this is something where I would like to tell all of our audience and viewers of this series, that helping others with or without expectation is what just Jatin has mentioned, that it might delay the fruit, but it will bear the fruit because you have put your efforts into it. And you should never say no if you can spare some time. And sometimes it is good to have those breaks also, because if it is out of your topic, this rejuvenates your neurons, because now you're studying something else. You're reading different papers, you're reading different techniques or technology, which all of them are helping you to grow as a researcher, as well as building this networking and collaboration for future also. Good deeds is something which in India they always say kar bhala ho bhala. It always
Yes,
goes like
best.
that.
Yes.
But this is something which in research field, as every researcher has to learn, because not all of them are open either for collaborations or for authorship issues, because this is something which, if not every researcher, then at least more than 80% of the researchers at some point of their lifetime has faced those issues, either through PI side or from student side, because sometimes it is tough to, you know, get everyone onto the same page. We work toward it. That's why, as a researcher, this is our job to do it every day, every day, and every day. It's not just about repeating the experiments, it's about making this understanding that who deserves what and where. Coming back to Jatin, your experience when you were doing your PhD, what was the first thought that you are going to do after your PhD in India?
I never thought of it. Seriously, I never. The way, so I already told you that I never thought that I will be doing a PhD one day. And
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that after PhD, what I'm going to do. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so after PhD, when I submitted my thesis, I was there, I was finishing my pending papers. At least
Mm-hmm.
for 1 year, I was there in ICGB. During that time, while having conversations with seniors, with other seniors who were already outside, they told me that, see, even if you don't want to do postdoc, even if you don't want to stay long in the field, at least once you should come outside, see how the research atmosphere is here, learn something new, go back and do whatever you want. If you want to stay in the field, be here. See, science teaches you how to handle failures.
Yes.
So you know how to fail, you know how to get up again. And it is like kind of daily process for you. So it's not like you are every day you are getting new results. You will be failed. So you know how to handle the failure. It's nothing new. You will not get depressed. Don't worry about that. You just take your time, think if you want to come, come. If you don't want to come, you can go to any field. You know how to deal with people, you know how to talk with people, you know how to maintain relationships, bring collaborations. So it's kind of management which
Mm-hmm.
science teaches you,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you strong. So I thought, okay, it's a good way. Let me try for postdocs, go outside, see the atmosphere. If I like it, well and good, I will be there. If not, I will come back. And a lot of my known people have done that. They went to some state, some university outside India. They went there for a year, or maybe some of them came in 6 months, and they said no, that is not for me. But still, they are in the field. They are doing good in India. They are in the field. So yeah, I never thought, but then again, my seniors motivated me, and then I started applying for postdoc, and I applied a lot. Sometime it happened is you see the ad and you will feel, अरे exactly मेरी CV की तरह ही इनको qualification चाहिए, and
Mm-hmm.
I will get this post. You are
Mm-hmm.
100% sure. You give interview, it's 3 round 4 round, and after that it will be like, oh, उन्होंने तो contact ही नहीं किया. I don't know what's happened. So that same thing happened with me.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever I thought, oh, this is custom made position for me, I will get it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
After third round or second round, they said, no, I got a better candidate.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so shocked. I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking, oh, बहुत कुछ आता है, I will get something. But
Mm-hmm.
then that is only in that area, in ICGB, or let's say in India or in Delhi. But outside India, there are a lot of people who are doing the same thing every day and maybe doing better than you. So competing with them is another challenge, which is good. And then I was like, अब तो मुझे करना ही है, अब तो मुझे बाहर ही जाना है. And one thing which I did for that is I never applied for any Indian postdoc fellowship. None of them. Not National PDF or other fellowship. I never applied because the problem with me is if I get something, I will get stuck to it. I will never try. So मैंने सोचा no, I am not going to apply for national fellowships. अब मुझे बाहर ही जाना है. And I kept on applying. And finally I got an opportunity. And this opportunity, it was totally different from what I did in PhD. It was totally different. So in PhD, I was working with viruses and mosquitoes. And here it was totally different altogether. A new field called 3D genomics. So the way people visualize 3D structure of protein, here we do it with the genome, and that too whole genome. So analyzing the whole genome in a 3D context, and that too in a single cell. So now I was used to handling the RNA-seq of population data. Like we took 10 million cells, we extracted RNA, we did transcriptomics of that, or we did some epigenetic marker testing. Here I got opportunity to work on single cells, and then I realized the power of single cell analysis. Because it's maybe little out of context, but let me explain. If it's a homogeneous mixture of a cell line, let's say ESC cells or AAG2 cells or some cells, every cell will behave similar. Maybe there will be a difference in cell cycle phase, but more or less they will behave similar. But if you extract tissues directly from a specimen or a model organism, let's say mosquitoes in our case, you take hindgut of the mosquitoes or salivary gland of the mosquitoes or something else. It's a mixture of cell types in there. Even the blood, human blood, will have 17, 18 different cell types. So this you will never get to see when you are using bulk RNA sequence. But if you are using single cell RNA-seq data or single cell, any of the single cell analysis, you can differentiate between the cell types, and your analysis will be more streamlined. So that is one thing which I learned here, and it was at starting it was difficult. It was difficult for me to visualize the genome in 3D space, and difficult for me to understand how they are doing single cell, and the data is so sparse, so less, that how they are going to make sense out of it. But slowly I learned, because it was new for me. I never did this kind of analysis. Slowly I learned, and my supervisor here, Dr. Peter Fraser, he gave me lot of freedom, lot of time to understand the thing and to get used to it and to analyze and come up with something new. He was always ready to discuss if I get some lead. If I am wrong, he never scolded me. Actually, he never scolded anybody. He was the coolest. I am blessed to get him as a supervisor, because he gave me so much freedom that I did whatever I wanted to do, and I learned whatever way I wanted to learn. And then I started helping others. And this one more thing, I started taking help from my juniors. Juniors, like they are in second year of PhD or they are master student. If I think this is the thing I don't know, but they know it. So first thing I did is Sharmana chhod do. You have to learn this, go and ask.
Yes.
So I went there, I asked them, and everyone, if you ask anyone, if they know it, they are going to help you. Nobody will say no. It's just you have to ask. So I started learning things from the juniors, because this field was new for me, and they were there for like past 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So they started telling me the best possible way they can. Sometimes they use 3D models or the computer wires, to tell me the 3D topology of a genome. And this is how I understood the thing. So
Absolutely. So this is something which we always talk about when a PhD student, either they are submitting their thesis or that is the first thing which they start looking is like, what are the postdoc opportunities, as you mentioned also. And then you changed your field because people, especially a PhD student who does not have a lot of exposure during the PhD, they're always hesitant or kind of reluctant that they don't want to change their field of expertise. But let me tell all the audience here that you are trained in biology, okay, or either you are using some technology or tools, but you are a biologist. If you are not a biologist, in core what we can say is that you are working towards the basics of science, which you can apply in anywhere. If you are trained as a drosophila biologist, then it is a model organism, and you can do anything, be it a cancer, be neurogenetics or anything. But even if you are not trained into one of those super specialized area, you always have this option to explore. As Jatin just mentioned, Sharmana chhod do. There is nothing which can stop you except you stopping yourself.
Exactly.
If you feel there is something you should apply, you are interested in, just go for it. You never know. The opportunities don't come at your door. You have to knock their door, and who knows which one click and you can be there what you want to. But the one thing which is the most positive comes out of it, because you were interested in that position, you were interested in that project, even if you are not expert of it. But that's why they call as a postdoctoral training. Just like PhD, it is a training which is a transition between you being a student and you having your own students. So this is the perfect time if you feel that you want to either deviate from your PhD or totally change it. This is perfect time. Postdoctoral training is very important. If you think that you have done PhD in a field which is not 100% what you want, if you want to change it, anytime, just give it a shot. And as Jatin said, you apply probably more than tens or hundreds of applications, but you all need is that one yes where you are interested. And sometimes when you have multiple options in your hand, nothing can be better than that, because then you can pick what you want to be. But speaking of these things, Jatin, we always talk about researchers are not a good communicators. Okay, they are not great in communication. Some of them still manage their times, because especially given the case of India, PhD students are in lab more than 12 hours. Okay, sometimes even more than that, and 24 hours. Okay, sometimes it's just because of the experiments, sometimes it's because it was not managed the way it should be. What are your thoughts now, and what were your experiences when you were doing a PhD?
So if you say communicator means presenting your research to somebody or
Yes.
delivering a talk or something, so I will, okay, this is also from my personal perspective, I will tell you, it will differ from people to people. So I was very bad at giving presentations when I joined ICGB, and till now, but that time also I was not very good speaking English. So, and somehow my PI, Dr. Sujata Sunil, she guessed it. So, and she was okay. So I started talking to her in English, whatever it was. It's like tutti frutti English. She could understand what I am saying. This Kam Chalao English, I started talking, and I started improving. And then what she did is she made us present our work every week or every 15 days in front of the lab members. Either you can talk about the work or you make presentation, you make PPT and present it. And then you have to you go and attend conferences and present there. But my training started from the lab meetings. I took that opportunity, that lab meeting as a stage, and started presenting my work. And that's how I grew. It's like the first presentation I still remember when I gave in front of, I will say, 2 3 PIs and the lab members. Some scientist was visiting from Japan, and we had to present something, and I was really shaking. My legs were shaking, and I didn't knew what I presented. I don't know what happened. I just went there. I presented whatever I had to say. I missed lot of point, but I just ran out of the stage. I was like, बस इससे ज़्यादा नहीं हो पाएगा.
Mm-hmm.
So that was first moment when I felt no. If I have to be in the field, I should be able to tell people what I am doing.
Mm-hmm.
So one incident happened with me when I told some people I met in during a visit in Ghaziabad. So I told that I work with mosquitoes. So first reaction was वो जो धुआं करते हैं वो धुआं करने आते हैं आप वही काम करते हैं. I said yeah मैं वही काम करता हूँ. From
Mm-hmm.
there I started learning the things. I started watching videos in YouTube instead of watching songs or movies. We do watch songs and movies now and that time also, but that was a time like Saturdays or Sundays we used to watch movies in the lab. I should not say it in the public, but yeah, we used to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
during those 5 days, Monday to Friday, we used to discuss with each other. I have asked one of my friend, Dr. Sunil Dubey, who he is in Columbia University now, to
Mm-hmm.
correct whenever we are wrong, whenever we are pronouncing anything wrong, whenever we are forming a sentence which is wrong, you should correct it.
Mm-hmm.
We only asked him to do that, and still we gave him a name of grammar Nazi. So it's
Mm-hmm.
called. We used to tell him, "अबे जहाँ देखो वहीं ठीक करने लगता है." So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, but yeah, he understood that. My PI understood that we need to communicate, we need to present. She gave me a lot of opportunity to present my work in the lab meetings in front of other things. By the time I was about to end my PhD, I was so confident that if you tell me half an hour before the presentation that you have to present on this topic after half an hour, I will go, I will present. I have no problem.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of confidence that this work I have done. I know what I have done.
Yes.
I just have to present. Be calm. Nobody is going to kill you. Nobody is there to embarrass you. So they are here to listen what you have done. And if they have a question, they have a doubt, they will ask. And this is what happened in science. If you have a query, if you have a question, curiosity, you should ask. And you have
Absolutely.
done the work and you have done it for 4 years, 5 years, every day, understanding the process. You can answer each and every question related to that. And if you don't know the answer, there is nothing to embarrass about it. Just say, I don't know the answer at this moment, but I will learn about it and I will get back to you or maybe meet you in person and we can discuss.
Absolutely.
Nobody
I
is
think
going
that's
to
a
hurt.
great attitude. And yeah, here I would like to tell to all the audience here. So we often get this communication that why we are holding this series in English. What we firmly believe at Empowering Sense Foundation that Empowering Sense Foundation believes in breaking the barriers. Okay. English is a language. It's not science. So don't let it stop you. The reason why we are having this is to make it global. I still remember one of my conferences in Europe, and this person was giving the talk, and without knowing, because they have to, like, whosoever is not native English speaker have to, there is a process to go it, and he switched to his language, and without noticing that he's speaking in his own language, and everybody in the room except the people who were able to understand that language, they were like, something is missing here, because they cannot understand what the person is saying. That happens to everyone. And what we say, that if you are trained as a researcher, English is only any other tool, like for a molecular biologist, PCR is. PCR doesn't define you being a researcher. PCR just a technique which you know or not. English is just like that. But being in communications, making effective statements or communicating your research to others, because at every single point, doesn't matter you are an emeritus professor, doesn't matter you are a PhD student, because you have to communicate your PhD, you have to communicate your results, and that's when it just goes on and on and on. So don't keep yourself inhibited or stressed if you don't know English as a language, because what you know, and that is the reason. So this is for all the PhD students in India, that if you're applying anywhere in the world for your postdoc positions, don't think you are not great in PhD, in your English, because what they're looking is for a person who knows the basics of a project which they want to come and join as a team. With this, I would like to say, Jatin, now we are walking towards the edge of the conversation. Your take home message for the researchers, for especially for the PhD students who are going to submit their PhD, what they should look for their postdoc and how they should finalize the lab, and then we'll take this. Yeah.
Yeah. So take home message will be, I will start again where you have ended, like about the English language. English. So we are blessed as an Indian, maybe other part of the world also, but as an Indian, I can speak. We are blessed that we know multiple languages.
Yes.
We know English, we know our mother tongue, whatever it is, from North India to South India, whatever it is. We can understand, let's say, Hindi. We can understand other languages also. And students learn foreign languages in the school or maybe after the school, the basic ones. Okay, but we are blessed that we know we are multilingual here, and it will be your experience also. I think one lot of my friends who are from here in this country, USA, they say that they know only one language, English.
Yes.
Maximum to maximum, they know either Spanish, because a lot of people speak Spanish here, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe if they have learned any foreign language, but maximum two. If
Mm-hmm.
you, some people can speak three, four languages, that is exceptional case, but they are ready to accept this, that yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they only know English, because English is their native language, not ours.
Yes.
So yeah, and it is just a tool to communicate, and
Yes.
it's a global tool. That's why we have to learn it. And
True.
as a student, either masters or PhD or postdoc, if you are doing research, if you are reading papers, if you understand what a person is trying to communicate, if person is trying to communicate, and if you can understand English, it means you know English. It's just you have to come out of your shell and start speaking, start expressing yourself. And if you are not doing that, you will never be able to communicate good. And
Mm-hmm.
I have met a lot of people here whose English is not that great, not that fluent, but with the time, spending 2 3 years 4 years in their PhDs or masters, they learn the language, because here the only thing is you have to communicate in English. If you are
Yes.
not communicating with your native countrymen, you have to communicate in English and you will learn. And outside India, maybe there is a foundation or a kind of pressure in India that if somebody is not knowing how to speak in English, they are not good, they are not intelligent. But it is not like
Mm-hmm.
that. You
True.
can see example of other countries also, be it China, be it other country like France, Germany, they support their language.
Mm-hmm.
They, and you go there and you have to learn their language if you want to communicate.
Yes. True.
So respect your language and don't hesitate. Just speak whatever you feel. If it is not right, I don't know if I spoke 100% correct English or not. I know I fumble, most of my sentences are not correct, but still I am communicating. That is the only way you will learn. That is the only way I learn. So till the way I said, when I joined ICGB, I was very bad at English, very bad. Till now I am speaking in English, but let me tell you, still my heart pounds. It's like my
Mm-hmm.
heart beats. How to, what should I say next? I have to think before I have to speak. So that will happen with everybody, but you have to come out of your shell and start speaking in English. Second thing about the postdoc thing, what you have to, first you decide you want to do a postdoc outside India or not, because it's not easy to leave everything behind and come in a new country and start everything all over again with the same kind of pressure. So you will get a buffer time, maybe 1 month, but after that you have to perform here also, because they are paying you. They call you because they thought that you would be a very beneficial addition to their lab or their project.
True.
So first decide that, and the best way is during your PhD try to attend conferences outside India or workshops outside India. That 1 week will tell you if you will be able to leave everything behind in India and come and do your research. If not, still, again, I will also tell the same thing which my senior told me. You should go once outside, spend some time. If you feel that you are not liking it, go back. Nobody is stopping you. So, and while looking for the labs, if you see any advertisement of a postdoc and you start matching it with your CV, most of the time, 98% of the time, it will be like, okay, I don't know this skill, I don't know this skill. Do not skip that position. Just apply. Let them decide if they are interested in taking you or interviewing you or not. You don't decide for yourself. If you like the position, if you like the project, just go for it. Just apply. Let them decide. If they don't want you, they will not call you. As simple as that.
Absolutely.
So, and after interview is done, after you get your offers, or in between that also, if you think you are going to get the offer, try to communicate with the lab members of that new lab. They will help you. They will answer your query. You just say that you interviewed in your, anyway, the one of the process of interview is that you have to communicate with the lab mates also, maybe the second round or third round, but you have to communicate. Ask them directly, what is the environment there, how many postdocs are there, what is the kind of workload there, what PI expect from them, because you have not started, so you can't say that what PI is expecting from me. What PI has expected from them, uh, how often PI is available for discussion, if he is open for new ideas or not. These kind of things you should ask, and you should decide if you have to join the lab or not. And again, as you said, that you have to, if you want to. So I have one of my friend, I know, he has done his PhD in plant biology, and then he switched into neurobiology in postdoc. So that is a different field. So if you want, that you want to go in industrial postdoc, or if you want to go for translational biology, or if you want to keep performing this basic pure research, which is as important as translational research, so you just apply. The skills is same. So for translational research also, they need, for example, let's say PCR, they need confocal. If, and for third year and fourth year student, I will tell, keep looking on the, so every year there is a new technique which is going to, they're going to introduce in their eligibility list. Keep a track on the positions, what type of positions they are offering, and what type of requirement they have, any university, be it in US or in Germany. And if you don't know that thing, try to learn it in your third and fourth year. And best way is to integrate that technique into your PhD project.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you integrate it. You say that I want to do this kind of experiment which needs this expertise and I want to learn it. Go and learn it. This is how you can improve your CV. Otherwise, the workload is so much during PhD that if you think after doing PhD, I will take 6 months off and I will learn it, it is never good.
That never happens. Yeah.
And if somebody says that they need a proven record, a published record, that you know some technique, that will only happen if you have integrated that technique into your PhD work. And that is the easy way. If once you have integrated and you have kind of convinced your supervisor that you want to do it, now there is no going back. You have to learn it, and that is the best way to improve yourself.
True.
Yeah.
No, it was great having you, Jatin, at this platform, sharing the journey. And I'm sure that you have motivated so many young researchers who has these inhibitions in them. And after listening to this talk, they'll be more, more confident and more supportive. So with this, we'll say thanks to Dr. Jatin for sharing his experiences and the journey. And to all the viewers, that stay tuned for Researcher Celebrities. If you want to ask anything to Dr. Jatin, you can directly communicate to him. Or if you want Empowering Science Foundation to help you in keeping in touch with our Researcher Celebrities, we can do that also. And stay tuned. Thank you very much, Dr. Jatin.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you.